Hi everyone, my name is Karuna Antani, or Real to Runa, and I'm here to interview Rita Meher of Tasveer. So let's go ahead and invite her. Welcome everyone, just inviting. Hi, how are you?
Very good. Karina? How are you?
I'm great. I'm just pinning our comments so we can get started. And as people join, they can kind of have an idea of what we're talking about. But how's it been? How are you doing?
Yeah, other than crunching emails right and left,
Yeah,
it's been amazing. It's always so much fun to run another edition of the film festival.
that's
Yeah, we're all doing good. Everyone is working hard. Thank you for
awesome.
asking.
Yeah,
How are you doing, Karina?
doing great. Yeah, very excited to have this conversation. I've been running a film review page for about 5 years now, and I'm just a huge film nerd, and so really happy to be talking to you about this. I've personally just read a lot about this Veer and just seen it kind of come up, I think, in my own kind of research in the past few years, and so really excited to talk to you today. I see we have people who've joined us, so I can go ahead and get started. All
Yes.
right. So, first of all, I just want to congratulate you on this amazing announcement that has come that you're an Oscar qualifier now as a film festival. So, could you please explain what that means to our viewers?
Yes, absolutely. What it means, there's obviously there's quite a few film festivals that has Oscar qualifying accreditation, but for the Sphere Film Festival to receive the Oscar qualifying status is huge, and it's not only of course, it's a good status for the Sphere, but for all South Asian filmmakers who submit films to our festival, it put their films in a direct line in front of the Oscar shortlisters. And they don't have to chase down big name film festivals. You know who they are.
Mhm.
They can submit to ours, and if they get an award, some kind of recognition, they can go ahead and submit to Oscars.
Amazing. That's so great. And will all the films be eligible? What are the criteria for a film to be kind of eligible for this?
For right now, Tasveer has gotten the approval for short films
Mhm.
only, which means any form of short films, whether it's a documentary short film or a narrative short film. So we are trying to create as many categories of short film awards in our festival: LGBTQI short film, documentary short, narrative short, so that many of them can get the awards and submit it. Yes.
That's a great strategy to do so. How long did this process take for the Oscar qualifying status to be achieved?
It took us about 2.5 years. There's a very long deliberation and auditing of the film festival, our festival, the venues where we are showing, the process, what format we are showing the films in, what kind of events we are organizing around it. So all that they take into consideration, and we also have to get a lot of letters of recommendation for the academy. Uh, so yeah, all that stuff takes a lot of paperwork, but it was worth it. 2.5 years
Of
long.
course. Wow, that's a lot of hard work for this, but totally worth it. So this year I see that the Sphere is a hybrid event. So how does a hybrid film festival work exactly? I think I've seen so many where, people are attending and there's all this like glamour in person. But I love the fact that this is kind of gives it a level of accessibility. So yeah, what is accessible in person versus online?
So for in person, we have about 59 films out of 83 total films that we selected out of a large submission pool. And out of those 83, about 46 are online.
Wow.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah. And the hybrid means where the film festival could be watched both in person and online, a platform, online platform. So we are trying to, pretty much all festivals do that now after the COVID.
Oh,
So.
wow, that's great. So yeah, from the lineup, this amazing lineup you have, which films are kind of a must see, you know, the highlights, and which ones are you most excited about yourself?
Well, I've been telling everyone, it's kind of funny what I say. I said, if you go to a restaurant, always go for the special, which is the restaurant special. So I would say if you go to any festival without fail, if you go to the opening night, that is the best of the best, that at least from the programming committee that they select. So Manal, which is Tamil, that's in Tamil, but it's Sand, also called Sand, is my most favorite film from the festival. And it's a post-war love story where a war veteran comes home in search of her, starts searching for his lover, and how he tries to get a closure, his emotional closure, and to find his lover, and in the process turning to God, who is kind of an agnostic, but he turns to God, and uh, it's just a beautiful told stories. Mostly when from Sri Lanka films come out, it's a lot of, you see that effect of the war in the film. So finally, we feel that there's a little bit of separation. And this is one film where we didn't see any violence
Oh,
in Sri Lanka. And sometimes it gets into that from the PTSD from the war. So it's there's no, you don't see like a backstory in the war where you would see all the details of how the war happened or anything. It's just a fast forward in the present moment of what the protagonist is going through. And the acting of Sivakumar Lingayan, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. I apologize, Sivakumar. If I have a huge award, I would just, if it comes to our festival, I'm going to give it to him. He carried the film on his
wow.
shoulder.
Wow, that's
And
amazing. Wow. I'm looking for myself now. So who are some notable filmmakers or maybe some other individuals who might be attending to this year at Tasveer?
so we are still publishing the filmmakers list. We I don't know how much you know about the Tasveer Film Festival. We kind of try to stay away from the celebrity list for a long time, and we kept very independent grassroots film festival. So the opening night film festival, almost 50 some filmmakers are coming. And I would, Visakesa Chandrasekharan, who is the opening night film festival, is coming. There's a lot of producers and executive directors. My dear friend Apurva from LA, they're coming from the Industry Connect, Samudrika and Swati Shetty, and sorry if I forget in this live session, but a lot of people who have a great body of work behind them will be here, and there will be a lot of networking events and Industry Connect on Thursday and Friday. There will be Film Fund pitch session. The industry people, the truck companies are not coming, so you're safe to come and attend the pitch session. And that would be really exciting. So if you're in filmmaking and all, you can attend that and make your connection and come back next year with your script to pitch to the industry officials. So yeah, I didn't prepare a long list, but it will be on the website. A lot of good, important people will be here.
Yeah.
You will see them soon.
Very exciting. Yeah, so I think we have time to just dive into a little bit of a deeper kind of question here. What is your outlook on how South Asian representation has changed in America? What has been your point of view as someone who's worked in this space for a long time and has kind of seen the progress and the change of how our culture is represented to these audiences outside of, the Asian side of the world?
How is it represented? Okay. So I would say the work that we started 20 some years ago, right after 9/11, to increase the representation of South Asian. Yes, the needle is moving but it's not moving as fast as you can imagine. Yes, there's more and more representation in the mainstream media, but it's not enough. Isn't enough stories that have been told. There's tons of untold stories. That's what we are doing through our film fund. But uh, we when we tell our stories, we just don't want to show that one-sided story to non-South Asian uh, audience members. We want to have diversity. We don't want to be like we we want to have variety and a great different kind of story, like embed ourselves in the mainstream media so that people could also relax with us, laugh with us, still have thought-provoking ideas, and also learn a bit about our culture. So that's a continuous effort of our festival and
Yeah,
exhibition of our stuff.
that's great. I mean, it's a push in the right direction, I think. And also, I really appreciate how you highlight the indie films and like you said, not maybe the celebrity films, but more. And I think that is the movement of a lot of I think that movement in general is growing, and people are really appreciating. I remember when I was growing up, that was definitely not the case. And, I grew up in like the 90s and the early 2000s is when I was like young, like really young. And I know that everything was just about like the mainstream and all of that. And now we see, just up and coming people really be the limelight. Like it's not just those kind of so-called A-list,
Yes,
stars. It's everyone, and good stories are being appreciated more
yes.
and highlighted. So we love to see that, and we love to see platforms like yours really highlighting that. So I think I'll go ahead and just ask one more question with respect for time. So let me pick one of them. I have a couple of more left. So according to the Hollywood Diversity Report of 2022, Asian representation.
Yeah, you came
Oh,
back.
what happened? Sorry about that. Think my internet kind of went out. So according to the Hollywood Diversity Report of 2022, Asian representation is under 4%, which you just mentioned that it looks like it's increasing, but the increase is still needed much more. So despite us seeing these things in the past few years and this, kind of incremental increase, how will the networking events at Tasveer really work to fill these gaps?
So, uh, yes, that's exactly what we are working at and would like to make those connections. We were planning a huge film summit, which we canceled due to all the strikes. But what we are trying to create a space where producers come, distributors come, people who are decision makers and have the power. And when the filmmakers come, we want to put them in a room and want them to meet each other and make those connections. We want the space where people come and create business. They buy the scripts, they become EPs of the project. And once that is done, when all these decision makers who we are trying to attract to our festival, hopefully due to our Oscar qualifying status, which they are going to come now, then those films will get made and get into the distribution circle and get it to the main stage. And of course, the Oscar qualifying qualification would also put a lot more films, not just from the pool of the whole world's film pool, but from the South Asian pool, could also be put forward on to the main stage of grand stage of Oscars. So that is where we are trying to fill the gap Like, how could we push these films to the mainstream where people could see us and bridge the gap? Yes, there's a lot of gap still to be filled, and we are working at it. But it will happen. It will
Yeah,
happen.
it will.
Feel steady.
And especially, yeah, I think this Oscar qualifier status, it'll just bring your name up even more. And, you know, hopefully people even outside that South Asian audience will come in, and you know, things will grow even more. And I think to end this out, do you mind reminding everyone of when this festival is, how to sign up, and any other details you'd like to share?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. So our festival will take place, and someone from our team could also post it in the
Mm-hmm.
comment, but it will take place from October 12th through 15th in person in Seattle, and then from 16th through 22nd online at the virtual festival. And yeah, it would be, you can go to our website, tasveer.org, tasveer.org, where you can get the full schedule on there.
Awesome. Well, we're very excited to see, you know, this film festival, and just we're cheering for you for your growth. So thank you very much for joining us, and yeah, best of luck.
Thank you, Karuna. Thank you for taking some time out to talk with me.
Of
It's my
course.
pleasure to join you.
Bye.